In this lecture, we will cover an introduction to cloud computing. So we will start with this. What is actually cloud computing? First, let's start with what Microsoft states about cloud computing. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services including servers, storage, databases, networking, software analytics, and intelligence over the internet in order to offer faster innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scale. Well, that's a long statement. So cloud computing really represents renting resources. And when I say resources, I am referring to hardware computing resources like the CPU processing power, memory, RAM, and storage from a cloud provider like Azure. And what is great about it, you only pay for what you use, imagine that. And this is called as a pricing model, pay as you go. This is the same like electricity or maybe gas that you pay on a monthly basis, but you really pay for only what you use, right? So that's really cool. Next, let's discuss about the applications and services that a company needs to run on a daily basis. Either a small startup or a large enterprise, companies need to run applications and services for their business. And the applications and services are typically run on servers, which again are comprised of CPU, RAM, and storage. Data can be stored on hard disk drives, so the HDD, and this represents the legacy version, or on the newer version, the SSD, solid state drives, which are actually faster but of course more expensive as well. I mentioned just a bit earlier running services in the organization. As an example, here are a couple of common servers that are usually run in any organization, no matter the size. Email server in order to facilitate communication, a web server for company's website, different databases that could be running either standalone or tied somehow to the web servers and running on the backend, maybe also an FTP server, so that is file transfer protocol server, and maybe some others as well. So really, how can you run these services? Either in your own company DC, so the data center, but this involves an upfront investment, so money spent in advance, and we will be discussing this in more depth later in this module. Or you can rent the compute power, the necessary compute power, and move to Azure Cloud. While working in Azure, you don't need to make large upfront investments in hardware and spend a lot of time provisioning the hardware. Usually in most of the companies like the medium or large ones, you have an army of engineers there that they need first to configure the equipment and then take care of the maintenance. You never know when a server goes down, so what happens next? Well, first it needs to be ordered, then to be shipped. Then is the unpacking phase, configuring the new hardware and installing it in the data center. And that takes a lot of time and manpower, so this means money as well. With Azure, things are totally different. You can provision in Azure Cloud exactly the right type and size of computing resources you will need to power and run your services. You can run one server or thousands of servers in minutes as you need almost instantly, and remember, you only pay for what you use. Please allow me to walk you through an example now, and we will have a Black Friday campaign example. First, let's consider that we are running our business on traditional infrastructure. Our website is run using 2 servers and a database in our own on-premises data center. As we have started the business earlier this year, this is the first time we are experiencing Thanksgiving and Black Friday campaigns, and we see that we are receiving unusual heavy traffic, and this will literally affect the user experience. So our customers most probably are angry now because our services are really not working. So let's think of our website. Our web servers will not work the way they work during the year because of heavy traffic. So what we do, next year we buy 2 more servers so that this time we are ready. And this time the Black Friday campaign works great. No complaints, no calls, no emails from our user database, so that is great. Really, what happens after the Black Friday is that we will have 2 servers that will just sit there for the rest of the year. So we paid for that, Black Friday is gone, and we have to wait like another 11 months to say so, another Black Friday campaign, so that the investment makes sense again. So that's really not what we want for our business, right? What we can do is try and move our workloads to Microsoft Azure. Now let's consider that we have one virtual machine or maybe two, one database, and at the moment we experience again heavy traffic. What Azure will do, depending on how we configure it of course, is just add more resources. So add another virtual machine automatically, add another database automatically, and another VM, and so on. This way you don't have to do anything when traffic conditions change, and that's really not that complicated to configure your cloud infrastructure to automatically adapt to traffic changes. Now that's good, so users are happy now and we've received extremely good reviews, and the business may now grow by its own. After the Black Friday campaign is over, well, the extra resources will be removed again automatically by Azure, and that will bring us benefits in terms of money, so we will save money this way. So lesson learned here, I would like my infrastructure to be elastic and to be able to adapt depending on how my business goes. Also, I would like it to be scalable up or down, so to adapt automatically to traffic changes. So again, the last thing is that I love the pricing model, so pay as you go, only pay for what you use. And this is definitely not the case with any traditional infrastructure. Thank you, and I will see you in the next lecture.